This is Help Wanted, the show that makes your work work for you. I'm Jason Pfeiffer, editor-in-chief of Entrepreneur Magazine.
And I'm money expert Nicole Lappin. On Tuesdays, Jason and I answer the helpline and help callers solve their work problems.
And on Thursdays, I give you one way to improve your work and build a career or company you love.
And it starts now.
All right, you can admit it. You are envious of someone. Why? Who? I don't know. You pick the reason. Maybe they make more money than you, or they accomplish more than you, or their career is bigger, or their title is cooler. By comparison, you feel small. You already know that this is bad, that comparison is the thief of joy. I don't need to tell you that. Many people have told you that. You've told yourself that. Doesn't matter. Doesn't help. So today, I will give you something that actually helps. I will show you how the people you envy aren't as enviable as you think, and how you can celebrate what you have. But to start, I'm going to share something a little embarrassing. I can be a jealous bastard. In my 20s, I aspired to be a successful writer, but I couldn't read anything written by young, successful writers. They had done what I desired, and so it made me seethe with envy. And then I got some success myself, and my goals shifted. Being a quote-unquote successful writer no longer felt satisfying enough. Now I needed more. I needed to make more money or build more things or just achieve more status or something, which meant that I had a new, different set of people to envy. As PJ Vogt said on his podcast, Search Engine, the desire to succeed can give you what you want, while at the same time removing your ability to enjoy it. It's a great quote. But along the way, something fascinating happened to me. Because of my job as editor-in-chief of Entrepreneur Magazine, I get to meet a lot of the people that I am envious of. Sometimes we even become friends, or I become friends with their friends. And that pulled back the curtain in a way that I didn't expect. Because what I realized is that there's always more to the story. When we are envious of someone, all we see are their accomplishments. But we don't see what it took to get there, or what's pushing them, or what they traded along the way. I am still surprised by these revelations, even though at this point the pattern is predictable and I run into it all the time. For example, here are some real examples with names removed of people who I got to know and then discovered what really is pushing them or what they really traded along the way. It is the business podcaster whose reach I was envious of, but who, it turns out, watches his download numbers nonstop every day and who feels a crushing anxiety if the numbers aren't always up. It is the best-selling writer whose sales I was envious of, but who, it turns out, drove those sales by constantly taking advantage of people and who has burned every professional bridge. And it's the CEO whose company is soaring, but who, it turns out, as he told me, is on the road nonstop, can never see friends, and is beyond exhausted. I remember interviewing the celebrity chef David Chang a number of years ago. His Momofuku restaurant group is a smash hit. He had a Netflix show. His cookbooks are bestsellers. In short, that guy is the envy of many chefs. But he told me that success was the product of depression and anger. He said to me, quote, "I was a really bad boss, yelling, screaming, and I'm looking back being like, man, I got there. But were there other ways?" You know, we all make trade-offs. Not all successful people are miserable, of course. I have met many wonderful, joyful, generous, successful people, but they've all made some kind of trade-off. To achieve something enviable, you must trade in something valuable. I do this even in my own way. In fact, this podcast that you're hearing right now is a good representation of that. So what I am doing right now is that I'm reading something from my newsletter. That's what I do every Thursday here on Help Wanted, is I read from my newsletter called One Thing Better. You can get it at onethingbetter.email, onethingbetter.email. Anyway, okay, but the point is that I wrote the edition of this newsletter that I'm reading to you right now on a Saturday at 11 a.m. because I didn't have time to do it during the work week. And an hour before, my young son had asked if I would play with him in the basement. It's a Saturday, it's the morning. It's pretty reasonable that he would expect that. But I told him that I couldn't because I had to work, because I had to write the newsletter that would become then this podcast that you are hearing right now. Would you make that same choice? It's okay if you wouldn't. I'm not sure that I made the right one myself, but that is the trade-off that I am making to have the media products that I have on top of everything else I do when I don't really have the time. People ask, how do you have the time for all this stuff? And the answer is those kinds of sacrifices that maybe I will regret later, not just one or two of them, but all of them. And that's just me, and maybe that's just small, or maybe it's not. I don't know. I guess I'll find out in years. But the point is that everyone has done some version of this. Everyone has traded away some kind of stability or time or family or connections or something in exchange for whatever accomplishment you see. And so the next time that you feel envious of someone, please stop and ask yourself this series of questions. There are 3 of them. Number 1, ask, what choice did I make? I'm talking about you. What choice did you make? Think about a decision that you made perhaps a long time ago just because it made you happy. And then think, question number 2, what benefit did that create? What do you have now as a result of that choice that you really value and that frankly you would be envious of if someone else had it? And now think, question number 3, what would have happened if you took the other path? Where would it have led you? Would that happiness truly be better than the happiness you have now? This is something that I talk a lot about with my wife, Jen. She has written 5 books, and like most, or really all authors, she's never been fully happy with her sales numbers. Jen edits my newsletter each week, and when she read an earlier draft of the thing that you're hearing right now, she got to the part about me sacrificing basement time with our son and said, okay, but no amount of basement time sacrifices could help her make her books sell better. And I said, that might be true, but think about a more foundational choice that she made. I reminded her of her history. She had published her first book at age 25. It was a reported exploration of Israeli and Palestinian teenagers. Her agent told her to write more books about the Middle East, but Jen didn't want to. Jen is endlessly curious and wanted to write and explore many topics and genres. As a result, she parted ways with her agent. That agent went on to be a superstar, repping some of the biggest writers today. Jen went on to do as she dreamed, writing a wide range of novels, young adult books, and even a romantic comedy that she and I co-authored together. It's called Mr. Nice Guy. Check it out. And so I told her, if you stuck with the Middle East, you might have owned that niche and sold more copies of books, but that wouldn't have made you happy. That's true, she said. Jen wants more book sales, sure, but she had optimized for something else, and that accomplishment is also worth being envious of. The point is to live intentionally. It is time to stop thinking about other people's accomplishments. Those things are not in our control, and they don't tell a full story. Instead, let's just think about choices. If we had infinite lives, we could make infinite choices, and that would be fun, but we don't. Instead, the best we can do is make our own choices and appreciate our own accomplishments. Yeah, sure, we'll sometimes envy someone else's accomplishments, though not necessarily the choices that they made to get them. Jen might want more book sales, but she is happier having not limited herself. I might want, let's say, a larger audience for my newsletter, but I am happier not obsessing over my numbers like that podcaster I met. You cannot have it all, but you certainly can have enough. So optimize for that. Help Wanted is a production of Money News Network. Help Wanted is hosted by me, Jason Pfeiffer.
And me, Nicole Lappin. Our executive producer is Morgan Lavoie. If you want some help, email our helpline at helpwanted@moneynewsnetwork.com for the chance to have some of your questions answered on the show. And follow us on Instagram at Money News and TikTok at Money News Network for exclusive content and to see our beautiful faces. Maybe a little dance.
Oh, I didn't sign up for that.
All right, well, talk to you soon.